Hey guys, Jacques Marceau. The Jacques Marceau, that lunatic you all come to love. I like to do a video about driving. Now, I'm not really famous in the way of driving in a good way. I'm not really a bad driver. I'm a very good driver. Understand, I'm a very good driver. I'm just a little bit out there. Like, at my mate's property, he's got these dirt jumps, and the dirt jumps at my mate's property are they're like water wash-offs. They're water wash-offs in the way of it because it gets torrential rain out there. But they're about, say, a metre and a metre 10, about a metre 10 from the ground high, and they're about 3 or 4 metres wide in the way of the depth as you go up and over them. So they're about a metre as you climb over it, and about 3 metres long as it pinnacles in the centre. And we hit these at about 130 kilometres an hour, about 120, 130 kilometres an hour. Now, no word of a lie, in understandable mathematics, the car is travelling at roughly around 35 to 40 metres per second. Come to estimationals from some of the video lookbacks. I'd apply it in the link, like those videos that say it's just here in the link, but I don't do that sort of stuff. I keep it pretty personal, but some of these videos, they actually show that. And it's airborne for roughly around 3 to 4 seconds. Like 3 to 4 seconds of full-time airborne. Some of it even longer for some of the downhill stuff. Now, understand me, it doesn't sound like much, but when I do the math on that, just say 40 metres a second, 4, 8, 12, 16 maybe, it's over 100 metres easy. It's over 100 metres of airborne, which is your actual football oval for, say, soccer league or FIFA, to say NRL. And this is when we were only 17-year-old little kids. We're only 17-year-old little kids in these little cars spinning around, having our fun, getting our jollies off. Now, we never got contracts or anything like that, and we never really got scouted to be taken on into some kind of fulfillment for our efforts. And like some of the property on his land, his personal land, he's got his own strip. Sort of like Wakefield Park, except for it's a little bit bigger. And there's times where, say, terminal velocity is 150 kilometres an hour, and was 155 miles per hour in that, like 250, 260 kilometres an hour in the way of terminal velocity. That's where something from height reaches its gravitational flow to maximum velocity, in that, like a skydiver. A skydiver's joy is to get terminal velocity. Now, doing that in the motor vehicle is quite exuberant. That's what a lot of drag racers do it for, in the full understandability of it, to say why they get up to their actual sport in the way of it. So I don't really drag race in that way. To say his property's also got a muster yard, and his muster yard's sort of like the Deniliquin Ute muster. And you get in the dirt pit, you can send it sideways in the dirt pit, hold it sideways, second, third gear, in the size of about, from 100 metres, about 100 metres square. It's like 2 football fields to be this dirt, the Dust Bowl. And you can just tear it up as much as you want. The only thing is, some of it's actually concrete, bitumen, and you can just get onto that bit of it and start doing full donuts to hooks, and like some of the stuff you can't really do on the modern road in 2025. Mind you, back in the day, say my day, the year 2000, driving around in the year 2000, you got a bit of leniency. Learning education was a bit of a key. A lot of people were just going straight red P plates, or learner license, red P plates, full license. There wasn't as many regulatories and regulations to where we're at right now in the way of it. So just in a quick understandings to it, before I waste all your time with boredom and nothingness that you couldn't even get half a bar of excitement from to even want to listen in the first place, motor vehicles has advanced. Now, ones I like is the Toyota Mirin. It's a hydrogen electric. Now, the electric part of it is the self-charging part. The electric part is the self-charger where you fill it up with hydrogen. Say there's a gas station at Penrith. Fill it up at the gas station at Penrith in the way of it, and you're pretty much just driving, and the electric part of it self-charges like a Toyota Corolla or a Toyota Camry and all that. They don't self-charge all the way to be a self-charging autonomous like some of the actual modified cars, but in some of it in the way of it is like, it'll keep you going as long as you're filling it up with the gas, you know what I mean? Sort of like how sort of the petrol electric works. And if I was going to choose a car, I'd probably choose myself one of those Toyota Mirins type of things. They're pretty decent car in the way of it. They keep going, and I'm not really too fussed, you know what I mean? Like in the way of getting a new car, I've had about 50 of them. But in the way of it, just to make videos for people if they're ever bored and want to know a bit about me, because there's a few people who look at my stuff, and some of you people know who you are in the way of it. Some of you people do understand there is care both ways by that to yourselves upon that from yourself to take care of interest to even understand it and reply it back to me. But just in general knowledge to say where I'm up to, what am I really doing, and who am I about, or whatever. I've been driving since I was about 11 years old. I started off in a Belmont, or was it before that? Before the Belmont Kingswood 3-speed column shift, I was in a HK Belmont Kingswood column shift, dark brown. It was my grandfather's, and my Uncle Paul had it, and my Uncle Paul drives a GDS HQ Kingswood. Passed it on to my cousin Bo. Sadly, he passed on, so rest in peace type thing, you know what I mean? It's very sad for me to even bring it up in this, but to where I learned, and me and my cousin playing out one day in this little Mazda 323. Little Mazda 626, not a 323. Mazda 626 two-door sports coupe. Now it had the 6-cylinder rear-wheel drive. The only thing is the starter motor was busted, so we had to clutch start it. And I stalled it coming around this corner. I buck 80'd it onto the grass, and we went backwards, and I stalled. I didn't keep the revs up. I was about 10 or 11 at that time. And then the Kingswood, well, learning how to shift change in the Kingswood on the column shift was kind of fun. It was all the way forward and one up for first. Second gear was down, back, and down. I'm pretty sure it was down. And third gear was straight from second to say straight up. And then reverse was back even further and upwards. It was a different gearbox. I might be mistaken. It's been a long time since I've even brought the Kingswood into it. As you know, I go mostly just on my own stuff to say a quick 10-minute catch up on this stuff. Probably some of my stuff that doesn't even exist is some of the best stuff you could ever imagine. Some of the people on Facebook wanted to see where my stuff went, but I wasn't able to salvage any of it. I'm not really a kleptomaniac. I like to live very light, sort of like a minimalist. In my house is a minimalist, and when I have a coffee, I've only got one coffee cup, you know what I mean, and I don't really worry about stuff like that. I don't really have too many people over my place. I have like my social distance and my safe zone. To say with mental health and all that, I keep a good safe zone so I can't be burned up like a biscuit tin. If I want to carry on, I'll prefer to carry on myself, and I'll put it on the social media for people to sit back and laugh at. That's not a drama. I do that every day of the week put on social media for people to laugh at in a way where they get their excitement and it's sort of comical and a bit of a laugh, like a G up at myself. It's not really because like absolutely bonkers crazy, just in a way to keep people happy and try and, keep the laughter is the best medicine, they say. You know what I mean? Laughter is the best medicine. So, yeah. That's pretty much it. Terminal velocity, some high-speed drifts, learning how to operate the motor vehicle. But you see now, it's been about 3 years since I've driven a car. I got that feeling that I need to get one. So I'm gonna start to adventure out to see what I can't get up to. Money is tight, so as it always is, I'll have to find something that I can actually get my hands on. So that's where I'm at. When the time comes, I'm sure God's will kick on when the time comes, and I'll find something around my price range for what I'm saving for. And if it's just out of it, I'm sure I can hustle my way in there to try and negotiate sort of a deal with them to see if I can pay them the rest off, or, you know what I mean, talking my way into it to try and get myself a deal with a car. So that's 12 minutes going on now for my time. So anyway, Jacques Marceau, so you know, thank you very much. Just for some of the people that need to know what gets up to in my life and what's up, like psychologists and all the rest of the people, the big wigs, some of the professional people from certain things that need to know what's up. That's where we're at. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.